Okay, this is going to be the Algebra 1 lesson on multiplication, okay, of binomials and polynomials, okay, all right. Directions, once again, would be to simplify. I want to start out with some very basic stuff. Okay. All right, so I want to start off with these examples of multiplication. As you can see, the way you know there's multiplication, there is no sign between those, okay? You have multiple terms, okay? So if in this parentheses you have two terms, okay? In this parentheses you have two terms. So what we're going to do, all right, is something called box multiplication, okay? So what I do is I put this 3i here, and I put this -2 here. I put 7i here, and I put 5 here, okay? Now, all we're doing then is doing our multiplication rules, okay? I'm gonna put these ones there, which basically says multiply the coefficients, add the exponents, okay? So 3 times 7 would be 21, and if I add the i's, that would be I squared, okay? Then I would do this times this, so 7 times -2, which would be -14i, okay? Now, that's something you should, if there's no I here, that there's going to be an I to the first on that part, okay? 3 times 5 would be 15, and I have the I right there. And then -2 times 5 would give me -10, okay? All right. You know what, let's move these a little bit. I'm going to do a couple more examples before. All right, let's do a third example of the regular one. Let's do I plus 9i, 2i minus 10. Okay. All right, so what we want to do at this point, okay, is we want to combine like terms inside the box. So I start with this. This is 21i squared. Okay, 21i squared does not combine. There's no other like terms. Now, I'll give you a tip, is that these diagonals are like terms. So what I do with like terms, okay, is pretty simply, I'm going to type them into the calculator just like I see them. Okay, -14 plus 15. So that is going to be a positive 1i. And then this -10 just stays -10, okay? So the only ones you really have to combine are these diagonal ones, okay? All right, so what I would do here, I get my box, okay? I got I minus 4 down this side, 5i minus 3 right here. Now there's a 1i squared, all right? If you need to put the ones in to help you, please do, okay? So 5 times 1 would be 5. Add the exponents, that'd be I2. Okay, 5 times -4 would be -20, I to the first, okay? 1 times -3 would be -3 with the I to the first. So you should always have these diagonals being the same. If you don't, you did something wrong, okay? And then this next one would be -4 times -3 would give me that spot. -4 times -3 would give me positive 12, okay? Now, once again, the 5i squared, that's easy. Okay, all right, these two are alike. So the way they go into the calculator is -20 minus 3, just the signs you see, which would be -23, I to the first, and then this would just be 12. Okay, all right, let's do one more example, and I'll give you guys a couple of those to try. Okay, so here, I put this down the side as I plus 9. I put this down here as 2, okay? I minus 10, all right? All right, so what I would have is 1 and 1, 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 plus 1 would be 2. Okay? 2 times 9 would be 18. Okay? 1, then that's just I to the first. Okay? 1i times that would be negative 10 with an I. Negative 10 times 9 would give me negative 90. Okay? Once again, I got 2i squared. Okay? I want to combine those, so that's going to be positive 18 minus 10. In this case, it will give me positive 8i minus 90. Okay? So once again, the diagonal ones will be the only ones that combine. Okay? Let's have you guys do 3. Okay? 7i minus 6, 3i minus 4. Let's do I plus 8 and 9i minus 2. Let's say I minus 5, I minus 2. Okay? So go ahead and pause your video and go ahead and work on those. Okay? All right, so what I got here, all right, I got 2 terms. Okay? I got 2 terms here. All right? So draw the big box. Okay? All right, divide up the terms, divide up the terms. Okay? All right? So, what I would do is put these ones here. Okay? So, I got 7 times 3 would be 21. Add the i's would give me I squared. Okay? 3 times negative 6 would give me negative 18. I just have I to the first there. 7 times negative 4 would give me negative 28 with just an I. And negative 6 times negative 4 would give me positive. So all we're doing is multiplying. Okay? All we're doing is multiplying. All right? All right? So now at this point, I'm going to combine my like terms. I got 21i squared. Okay, these are the exact same. So when I do those, that's minus 46i. Okay? And then I do plus 24. Okay? All right? So basically, very simple rule. Multiply outside the box to get, and then once you have the insides, then you add or subtract. Multiply, then add or subtract. Okay? So here I got I plus 8, 9i minus 2. Okay? Divide them up. Okay? So I'm going to put a 1, 1, 1. Okay? 1 times 9 would be 9. 1 plus 1 would be 2. 9 times 8 would be 72, just I to the first. 1 times negative 2 would be negative 2, I to the first. 8 times negative 2 would be negative 16. Okay, these are the only ones that combine. 9i squared. Okay, I got 72 minus 2 gives me positive 70 with a minus 16 here. Okay, all right, so I got 2 terms. I with a minus 5, I with a minus 2. Okay, so there would be a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1 there. Okay, so 1 times 1 would be 1. 1 plus 1 would be 2. Okay, 1 times negative 5 would be negative 5 with an I. 1 times negative 2 would give me negative 2 with an I. Negative 2 times negative, or negative 5 times negative 2 would give me positive 10. Okay, these two are going to combine there. So I got 1i squared. Okay, negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7 with just the I and a plus 10. Okay? All right, basic multiplication. All right? All right, now, all right, see where I want to go next with this. Okay, let's go to these types of problems. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. Okay. Now, what I would do, these are multiplication. What I would do to make this easy on myself is I would do parentheses here, okay, for this one. All right. So the question is, I have one term. This part, I got three terms. One of the common questions I get with this box is, Mr. Evans, how do I know what kind of box to make? Okay. If you got one term, three terms. Now just cut up the terms, okay? Can't cut that up, but I can split that, I can split that. So that's my box, okay? So I put a little 1 there. 10 times 5 would be 50. Add those would be I to the 3, okay? 10 times -2 would be -20. Add those would be I squared. 10 times 6 would be 60. And then I just got I to the first. Now, as you can see, there's nothing diagonal to combine. So this ends up just being your answer. Okay, it's that simple. Okay, so once again, I'm going to go ahead and put parentheses around this. So that gives me one term, okay, and then this is two terms. Once again, make a box. Okay, the only way to cut this up is to do that. Okay, it's that simple. All right, 1 and 1. 2 times 8 would be 16. Add those would give me 2. 2 times -7 gives me 14, and that's just going to be I to the first. Once again, no diagonals. I'm going to go ahead and just write that as my answer. All right, that's really easy. Okay, now we're going to get to these ones with 2 by 3. Okay, all right, so same idea. Here, with a -6, 3 terms. Okay, I make a big box. Okay, I got to split these up. Got to split these. So this is the kind of box system I have here. I'm going to put a 1, and I'm going to put a 1 to help me. 3 times 2 would be 6. 1 plus 2 would be 3. 2 times that would be -12. Now, just like with the i's, when if I don't have the variable, then you just keep this variable like it is. Okay? 3 times 3 would be 9. And if I add those, I would get 2. 3 times -6 would give me -18. Okay? Just with the I. Okay? 3 times -4 would give me -12, just with the I. Okay? And -6 times -4 would give me 24. Okay? Now, so from a combining like terms standpoint, all right, while this looks complicated, it's actually just like the other one. Okay? All right? So, once again, the only things that are going to be alike are going to be these diagonals. I still got 6i cubed. Okay? All right, I'm going to do -12 plus 9 to get that diagonal. That's going to be -3i squared. Then I'm going to do this diagonal, -18 minus 12, and that's -30i with a positive 24. Okay? All right, and that's how simple that is. All right? The last part here, all right, I got 7i, okay? All right, and then I got a plus 1. Then I got an I squared minus 2i plus 3. Okay, big box. Okay, so I'm going to put a 1 here, and I'll put a 1 here, and a 1 there. 7 times 1 is 7. Add those would give me I3. 1 times 1 would be 1, just with the I squared. 7 times -2 would be -14. If I add those, I get I squared. 1 times -2, I get -2, just with the I to the first. Okay, 7 times 3, I get 21, just with the I. And then 1 times 3, I get 3. Okay, just like the last one, the diagonals are the only things that are similar. Okay, so I got 7i squared, or 7i cubed. Okay, this is going to be 1 minus 14, which is -13, I squared. Then I got -2 plus 21, which is 19, with just the I. And then this would be positive 3. Okay? All right? So same process as before. Okay? All right? Let me give you guys a couple of those to try. I'm going to do 11. We're just going to do 3, okay? So go ahead and pause your video and go ahead and do those. Okay, go ahead and unpause. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Okay, so that's 1 by, I write these terms out, make my box. Nothing to split there, but I can split here and here. Okay, there'll be a 1 there. 5 times that would be 15. That would be I3. 5 times negative 10 would be negative 50. 1 and 1 would give me I2. 5 times 2 would give me 10. I go first. Okay? So they give you the same problem. Pretty silly. That's pretty close. Okay? So I got 15 I cubed minus 50 I squared plus 10 I go first. Okay, that's that first one. All right? I'm going to put I in negative 2. I'm going to write 9I squared plus 4I minus 7. Okay? Cut those two terms, split them, split, split. That's the box. 1 and 1, put a 1 there. 9 times 1 would be 9. Add those would be 3. Negative 2 times that would be negative 18, I squared. 1 times 4 would be 4 with an I squared. Negative 2 times that would be negative 8, just with the I. 1 I times that would be negative 7 with the I. Negative 2 times negative 7 would be 14. Okay? Once again, diagonals are the only thing they're like. 9I cubed, okay? I go negative 18 plus 4 is going to give me negative 14 with an I squared. I got negative 8 and negative 7. It's going to be negative 15I, and then I got 14. Okay? All right. This one, okay? Let me get a little more room. All right, so I got 10I with a plus 3, 2I squared plus 7I minus 10. Split, split, split. Ones and ones. 10 times 2, 20 with an I cubed because I add those. 2 times 3 is 6 with an I squared. 10 times 7 would be 70, okay, with an I squared. 3 times 7 would be 21 with just an I. 10 times negative 10 would be negative 100 with an I. 3 times negative 10 would be negative 30. Okay, so I got 20 I cubed. Okay, that's going to be 6 plus 70, which would be 76 I squared. 21 minus 100 be negative 79 I. Okay, and then minus 30 there. Okay, all right. Let's go on to the last type of multiplication. What problem are we on now? 14. Okay, all right. So, we'll give you these two. Let's do 2I minus 7, and let's do 9I plus 5J squared. Okay, now, so I say, Mr. Evans, I don't know what to do with this, okay? Now, what we should do is when it's squared, we're just gonna go ahead and write this twice, okay? And now I'm doing 2I minus 7, 2I minus 7, box, split, split, 1 and 1, so no different. So squared means write twice, okay? So this will be 4, 1 and 1 would be 2, 2 times that would be negative 14 with an I, 2 times that would be negative 14 with an I, negative 7 times negative 7 would be 49, okay? Now, once again, just like before, 4I squared, these two are gonna be the same, okay? Negative 14 minus 14 gives me negative 28. I, and then a 49. So, okay, no different, okay? So squared means write twice. Okay, so box. Okay, 9I, 5J, 9I, 5J. All right, put ones, 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 and ones. Now, this is not complicated, just a little bit more to this. 9 times 9 would be 81. The i's would add to I2. Okay? Now, 9 times 5 would be 45. Now, as you can see, I have an I and a J, so I'm going to write it like the alphabet, I then J. Okay? I cannot make those two because those are different letters. Same thing, 9 times 5 would be 45, and I1, J1. Remember our rules. These got to be exactly the same, okay? Now, 5 and 5 would be 25, and this would be J squared, because now I can add those, okay? So once again, first term, all right? Then I got 45 plus 45 is 90, so 90 I1, J1, and then I got a 25 J squared, okay? So same rules, don't change the exponents, okay? Don't change the exponents. All right, let's do these last two questions. 8I minus 5 squared, let's do 4I plus 3J squared. So go ahead and pause your video and go ahead and try these, okay? All right, go ahead and unpause. So first thing I would do is write this twice, okay? So that, whoops, hold on, I'm skipping the steps. All right, write these terms, write these terms, draw a big box, split this one, okay? 1 and 1. 8 times that would be 64, I first. Negative 5 times that would be negative 40, I to the first. That would be the same thing, would be negative 40, I to the first. Negative 5 times negative 5, positive 25. Okay? So what I have here is 64, I squared. Let's do negative 40 minus 40 is negative 80, I to the first. Okay? And then it'll be positive 25. Okay? All right. So squared here, 4I plus 3J, 4I plus 3J. Okay? Write 4I plus 3J, write 4I plus 3J. Okay? Make a big box and then split it. Okay? 4 times 4 would be 16. Since both of these, I put 1s there, would be I squared. Okay? J to the first, J to the first. 3 times 4 would be 12. This would be I1, J1. Okay? Cannot combine those. Okay? All right? Because that has to be squared. Same thing here. This is going to give me 12 I1, J1. Okay? 3 times 3 would give me 9. Since both of these are J's, that's going to be J squared. Okay? So I got 16I squared. Okay? I'll do 12 plus 12. Be 24 I1 J1 with this 9J squared. Okay, so just takes a little bit of multiplication, but you should do a little work with your arithmetic, but you should be fine.